What is going on, everybody? It is Thursday. We're almost to the end of the work week, but it's lunchtime and we're taking a break. Taking a break with you all so we can hang out, have some fun, talk about some stuff going on around the space, and just talk about stuff. Yeah. So let's start with the dart. I'm going to get that out of the way. Let's give it a shot. Felt bad coming out of the hand. Wide right. I actually hit I think it's the 3. Is that what it is out there? Yeah, the number 3, nothing inside the scoring thing. Man, one of these days, I just felt awful. What's going on, Jody Lynn? Nicole Sherman, how are you? Yeah. So yesterday I had to hop off super fast. We had one of those like all team meetings through Microsoft Teams. It's got like 500 people on the meeting, and they're just a dog and pony show thing that they give us updates that they don't really give us any updates on. But what drives me nuts, like I'll sit through the meeting fine. What drives me nuts is that last minute of the meeting where like 80% of the people on the meeting, it's their time to kiss butt. It's the thank yous. It's the, oh, you're the best. Oh, thanks for doing these. Oh, it just drives me up the wall. And none of them mean it. None of them mean it. And then your Microsoft Teams alert keeps like dinging, ding, ding, ding for everyone throwing one in there. So as quickly as I can, I go mute it, and then I just get out and go to something else. And they can do all their crazy talk. But man, it just bugs the heck out of me. Jody Lynn, do you have to throw a tie on? I do not have to throw a tie on. Collared shirt is required, but not a tie. So, but I did have a collared shirt on for the meeting. Yes. I have a collared shirt on for all meetings as required by our dress code. So, this afternoon, I'm finally getting a haircut. I've not had a haircut in a while. With everything that's happened with moving my daughter to Montana, with my mom's stroke, with all of that, haircut fell way down on the list. This afternoon is going to be it. I was driving in Pennsylvania this weekend. I don't even know if I can pull it off here, but like I have so much stuff in my hair to hold it. So I'm driving in Pennsylvania through the woods. I took the back road from my house to my wife's parents' house, and like, look how long it's almost down to my eyes. I had the windows down. I'm going through the backwoods. My hair's getting blown out like a 1980s feather job. And then like my bangs were hanging in my eyes. It was crazy. Same with every major police incident. More time thanking than informing. Amen. Amen, brother. So what's up, Eric? What's up, Holly? Yeah. So getting a haircut this afternoon, getting that all taken care of. The other thing the haircut does is when my haircut is really short, it doesn't move a lot. It's kind of the same whether I go to sleep, whatever. So like this morning, I got an 8 a.m. first thing in the morning phone call, had to get my hair done, had to throw on the collared shirt, all of that stuff. When my hair's short, I don't have to worry about the hair part. I just throw the shirt on, go to town. So what's up, Bubba? Corporate America, gotta love it. Gotta love it. So yeah. And then the last thing, just personal update, is last night we made this dinner and the recipe called it French onion stew. And basically what it turned out to be was pot roast and French onion soup mixed together. It may be one of the best things I've had to eat that we've cooked in 10 years. The beef got super tender. The carrots and the potatoes and the onions were so good. And that broth, and we let it like simmer for a couple hours and get thick. It was so freaking good. If you're looking for something interesting, look for that. It's just like, Nicole says, pot roast is a family favorite. We love pot roast. This was a whole new level of the pot roast, and the French onion soup broth with it was so good. It, because that soup is just a little bit saltier, and it bled into the beef and the potatoes and the carrots. It was magnificent. If you want to try it, look up the recipe. It was super easy to make. Pretty quick prep time, and then you just let it simmer for a couple hours. So yeah. If I think about it, I'll grab the recipe and I'll post it below in the description, and you can come back and check that out, or I'll bring it on tomorrow and share it tomorrow. But it was so good. So good. Highly recommend. And then the last thing about me, last night I finally finished Yellowstone, the series. My wife and I don't have the Paramount Network channel, so we couldn't watch it live. We had to wait till it came to Peacock to stream it. And when the first part of the last season came out, we decided to wait until the second part came out to watch it all at once. We finally got through with it last night. It's been an amazing series. I felt like the last 2-ish episodes were a little uneven. But I think with the Costner situation, they had to try to figure out the ending and still kind of placate everybody. So it kind of ended a little uneven at the end, but it was a great show, and I'm glad I watched it. I'm excited for a couple of the spinoffs. And I think Casey was kind of a forgotten character for a lot of the last couple seasons. And then when Costner wasn't on, he came back, and I remembered why I loved that character. And I'm so glad that I got to remember that part and the Navy SEAL aspect of his background. That I want more of, and apparently there's going to be a spinoff kind of heading in that direction. So, yeah. Eric Mackey got a little ho-hum in middle seasons, but really appreciate how they wrap things up. Hear you though. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. I think it started off really, really great. First 3 seasons, top notch. Kind of faded a bit for me a little bit. I thought like the middle part of this last season was really good, and then it kind of trailed off as they were trying to figure out how to kind of wrap it all up. It kind of romanticized ranch life and the horses and the animals and all of that kind of thing, and less storytelling for a lot of the episodes. Eric asked if I've watched Landman yet. I know you're newer to the show. Landman was one of my favorite shows of last season. I cannot wait for season 2. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, where Pennsylvania Grade crude was a big deal. And I had oil derricks and oil pumps in the woods behind my parents' house growing up. So I've lived through a form of the oil industry, and I found Landman fascinating. Plus Billy Bob Thornton is hard to beat when he is on his A game, and in Landman he was on his A game. So yeah. All right, that's all the fun little stuff going on in my life, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in the CrossFit space. And the first thing of that is I put out a poll, which the majority of the people who responded to the poll on YouTube said that yes, that Tia is going to troll us with her acceptance to the CrossFit Games. How long will that take? And here is the leaderboard for the 2025 CrossFit Games, and it lists everybody who has accepted their invitation. So you see that people that qualified this weekend are already on the list: Brooke Wells, Emily DeRoy, Christina Ladovadakis, Louisa Marquez. They are all on the list. What you will find, though, is someone who has not accepted their invitation is tia-clair Toomey. To be fair, Lexi Neely got hers this weekend as well, and you don't see her name on there either. But with the back and forth on the retirement stuff and the announcement, non-announcement, I think people are waiting for this. And if you watched the weekend review, Dave talked about how CrossFit has given her a deadline because if she does not accept, they want to be able to give a fair invite to the next person on the Torian list, so that they can come to the CrossFit Games, and that they have made that person aware that they should stay in shape and be ready. So, I just don't understand the reasoning behind the secrecy of is she retiring or not. Why can't she just come out and say it? I don't know what she's accomplishing with all of the delays and all of the trolling. So, just a little tidbit. I know it's only been since the weekend. We're only like 4 days after her qualification. But man, if I made it to the CrossFit Games, I would sign up. And my intention was to go to the CrossFit Games. I would sign up immediately. But then again, I think I agree, Jake. I think Tia will be at the games. It's hard to imagine the games without her. I do think she's going. I just think it's part of something in her that it's got to be a mystery all the time. But again, Lexi Neely has not signed up either. So I am trying to be fair, but Lexi Neely didn't do a video insinuating that she may retire, may not retire. And so that's why I wonder. Jake, are you driving up to NorCal now? Or are you there? What's going on, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you in the chat. Barbell spin, Tia who? Tia Wright. We're talking about Tia Wright spin. So yeah. What's up, Ken? The other thing I wanted to throw out there today is NorCal posted their workouts. So I'm going to show those. Hiller also put out a video, kind of a behind the scenes showing them developing the workouts. So they are definitely not your typical workouts. So Heavy Isabel leads it off. And of course, my computer decides to do this. Come on. There we go. Heavy Isabel is first. Jake is about 2 hours out. Have a safe trip, brother. And we'll be watching. Hopefully, Alex gets her ticket this weekend. Event 2 is ring shuttle. This one is 30 ring muscle-ups for time. Every third minute, including the zeros, an athlete must do a buy-in of suicide shuttle runs. Each suicide shuttle will include a 50, 75, and 100-foot distance. Now, in the video of Hiller's, the people are running forward and then running backward. It does not indicate this on this description, but we'll see what happens here. Oh, and Spin says they are in different orders for the men and the women. And then you have to accumulate 30 ring muscle ups. during this time. We also have slow and go. This is the truck pull for time. It's a 100-foot truck pull for time. And I believe it's a gator truck. They talked about a gator, and I'm assuming it's one of those like John Deere gator field trucks that they drive out onto professional sports fields. Women do Isabel, then ring shuttle. Men do ring shuttle, then Isabel. Interesting. So it's just they'll be harnessed to a truck, and there'll be a rope in front, and they have to pull it 100 feet across the finish line. The next one is Pump House. It is a 1,500 meter bike erg, 45 heavy double unders, 30 reverse lunge wall balls. Those are interesting. Instead of a squat wall ball, you catch the ball, go down into a reverse lunge, back up, and the ball goes up to the target. There's video of Rich Froning doing these in Andrew Hiller's video if you want to check that out. And then it's 15 bar muscle up plus pullover. So you have to do a bar muscle up, then do a pullover on the bar, 15 reps of that, back to the reverse lunge wall balls, heavy double unders, and 1,500 meter bike erg. Then we have farmnastics. This is 50 overhead squats, 250-foot farmer's carry, 10 handstand pirouettes, 250-foot farmer's carry, and then you're done. So that is interesting. The handstand pirouettes. I did not see any video on that, so I don't know if there's a walk into the pirouette or if it's just stand there and spin. Oh, here it is. For pirouettes, athletes will kick up outside a box, handstand walk into the box and perform pirouette, and continue handstand walk outside the box for the rep to count. So those are a little bit different. And then we have 2K row, just a 200 meter upon completion of the 200 meter row for time. Immediately upon completion of the 200 meter row, athletes will begin a 2-mile run. And that is, here you see the 200 meter row, 2-mile run, 2,000 meter row. Sorry, Spin. Thanks for the correction. Yeah, been a rough morning at work already. Athletes will begin a score for the 2,000 meter row split and a score for the total time to complete both disciplines. So the 2,000 meter row counts twice. And then we have hero ball to finish it all up. 5 legless rope climbs, 2 box jump overs, 5 squat cleans, 2 box jump overs, 3 legless rope climbs, 2 box jump overs, 3 squat cleans, 2 box jump overs, 1 legless rope climb. Two box jump overs, 1 squat clean. Okay. And you can see the weights on the clean go up. 275, 315, 335 for the men, 185, 215, 235 for the women. This is going to be interesting. And the way they kind of showed it on the board in the Hiller video is it is up and down the course. Like you do the legless rope climb, you go over the box, grab the barbell, do the squat cleans, back over the box to get to the rope climb, and it's back and forth down the floor for the reps that are required. So those are the workouts at NorCal. As typical, they are not typical. They like to be creative and do things a little bit differently. I highly recommend going and watching the Hiller video. It really kind of shows the push and pull between the event coordinators of NorCal and the Mayhem crew, and Mayhem really trying to say, we're not here to create your event. We're here as a consultant. And like Rich hates pullovers, but it's their event. He didn't try to take it out of their event. But it's really interesting to see them kind of come to these conclusions on these workouts. Ken Walter says, man, it would be awesome to be as fit as you would need to be to do any of these workouts RX. Yeah. Edging says, put your left foot in, take your left foot out, shake it all about. Yeah. It kind of feels that way. Andrew Sten, that's dumb. The events are in different order, makes life more difficult for the volunteers. I think it's going to be interesting. I know what you're saying, Andrew, but like, if you've been to TFX, they run like one event at this station and one event at that station. Everybody kind of rotates through. That's what the Masters CrossFit Games did last year. You had 3 floors. One floor was a different event, and they just rotated people through. And not everybody did the same order of the events, but the floors then could remain the same for the day for each of the events. So in some ways, it's easier for the volunteers because there's less setup and teardown, but it can get confusing. And it gets confusing as a spectator, like going to the leaderboard and seeing like things populated in one area, not in another, and why they skipped this column. But it's probably what they had to do. If you have what 1,500 athletes or whatever they have competing there, they just had to do it that way. Shay says, we'll be cheering for Prevo. Yes, we will be too. Love seeing Hiller's video of the programming. I thought it was really good. It gave you kind of some insight into the thinking and what wasn't working, what was working, why they went the way they did, what they were trying to accomplish. And even in one spot, Rich talks about how the test, the one with the reverse lunge wall balls, gave him a stimulus he didn't even know or didn't think of while planning it. The unilateral direction of the lunge actually messed with his core and thoracic spine more than he initially thought. And it definitely had a different effect than they thought it would. So those are the workouts. So let's look at the contestants going for their shot at the CrossFit Games. This is the last in-person shot to get the 2 spots for the men, 2 spots for the women. We look at the people competing this weekend. Hopefully this is updated. We've got CJ Gerald, Colton Mertens, Drake Lewis, Jorge Fernandez, Matthias Porter, Matt Brady, Max Krieg, Nate Ackerman, Philip Muscarella, Raphael Sanson, Spencer Panchek, Traven Benton, and William Leahy. So I think the women's field is much deeper than the men's. But my early pick to get their tickets to the games is Spencer and Nate Ackerman. I think those 2 will get their tickets. I do, however, think Colton will win. But Colton already has his ticket, so he's just there for the cash. And I think he goes ahead and gets that. I think he takes first. I'm going to put Nate Ackerman in second and Spencer Panchek in third. Other people to look out for, I think Max Krieg could have a good week. So yeah. I thought at one point Seth Stovall was coming. I don't see his name on the leaderboard anymore. So I wonder if he withdrew. Jorge Fernandez is probably somebody to look out for. I just think he's been a little bit too uneven, so I just don't know where to put him. So, but I'm going with Spencer and Nate Ackerman in reverse order. On the women's side, we have Alex Kazan, we have Allison Scuds, Ali Zerke, Andrea Solberg, Ariel Sanders, Bethany Flores, Caitlin Bernardin, Carolyn Prevost, Chelsea Nicholas, Emily Rethwell, Emily Rolfe, Emily White, Hattie Canyo, Carissa Stapp, Caitlin Sanders, I'm sorry, Kristen Holta, Lindsay Lane, Miley Wade, Rebecca Fuselier, Sydney Wells, Trista Smith. So on the women's side, I think that Alex Kazan is clear and apart the favorite in this group. So I will take her to go number one. As it comes to the second spot, I kind of want to say Kristen Holta. I just think she's so good at a lot of things, and she's athletic enough that with these different style of events, she can adapt pretty quick. So I think that I'm going to say my picks are Alex and Kristen Holta. I do think if Emily Rolfe were healthy, I think there's enough events because it's more than 6 that would help her with the heavy Isabel aspect of things. But I just don't know if she's healthy enough. I've talked with her, but I have not pushed her on any injury details. And I'm not even sure she's going to be there. I do think that Rebecca Fuselier has a shot. Again, heavy Isabel is going to hurt her, but there's a lot of gymnastic stuff that she's going to be very, very good at. The pirouette thing, she will crush. I think the ring muscle up one she'll do really well at. So I really think I'm going to say the second spot is between Holta and Fuselier. And man, Solberg too. Solberg will be in that mix too. She's such a great gymnast. It's just that heavy Isabel, what impact does it do to the field? So, but I do think Alex will crush it. And quietly, I think Chelsea Nicholas will have a great heavy Isabel. So yeah, I would be surprised to see Bethany there. She made a post yesterday about some years you see incredible things and other years you don't. And this year she has not. And so I just don't see her going. And I'm not confident that Emily Rolfe will be there. I keep kind of watching to see if I see anything showing her getting there, but we'll see. Yes, Fuselier was at TFX. 6 to 8 women playing for that second game spot. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that Alex is the clear favorite. And I think the way she's attacked the season has been very smart. So it'll be fun to see what she does this weekend with everything there. Anxious to, what do you guys think? Who do you think the 2 spots are on the men and the women's side this weekend? I wonder why all the comps Rebecca chose this one, or is this the only one she got an invite to? Yeah, she was at TFX. I think she owns a gym, right? Like, I think her priority is she's a gym owner and she's trying to do everything kind of, I don't know, talking to like people like Carolyn and Jamie, like there's an expense to all this too. Like you can't just, there's not an unlimited fund to go to as many comps as you want to go to. And so like you have to kind of pick and choose your spots. And a lot of times you don't know the programming until you get there. The fact that these people didn't even know NorCal's programming until today makes it hard to make those decisions. What I find really crazy is, at the beginning of the season, NorCal was very adamant about like, if you want to do this, you need to do the qualifier so that you are in the mix. And then last minute say, hey, we're going to throw out invites if you didn't get your ticket anywhere else, because they want to sell tickets to the event. But it's not really fair for people who planned, did the qualifiers, got in the legit way, and now are kind of being pushed off to the side for all the people who didn't get their tickets and want another opportunity. It's great for the fans because you get to kind of see this exciting moment, but it's really hard. It's back to the point of a very complex season. It's hard to explain to people. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Train to Live. I think Carolyn will do well in the events now that we know what they are. I think she'll do well in a lot of these events. My fear for Carolyn is Heavy Isabel. The other thing is there are some big time gymnastics specialists in this field that are going to be really good at some of the gymnastics pieces. I know because of her athletic ability, she's going to be able to adapt to all of their strange stuff really quickly. And I want her to get the spot. I want her to get the spot. And I think she has a legit chance because of what you said. It's that Heavy Isabel and then the heavy clean on the box over one with the legless rope climbs. Those are the two. If she can do damage control on Heavy Isabel, and those cleans are okay with her. And I think she's good at just straight cleans. They're just really heavy at the end. It's going to be how smart she attacks those and drills those at the end. T. Kane says, 1 Gazan, 2 Holta or Prevo Wells. I think that's legit, dude. I would absolutely love to see Big Becca return to the games. I think we all would. She's just a phenomenal person. Eric Mackey, CrossFit will change again next year, but agree should have been limited to 2 planned events. I think it became obvious in the week in review that Dave likes the idea of pushing the in-affiliate semifinal to the end of this part of the season. That just makes sense. That way, then everybody goes to their in-person event, makes their shot, takes their shot, and then you have the in-person or in-affiliate semifinal be the last chance qualifier for however many spots are left. That just makes the most sense. And it seemed that Dave seemed to concede to that during his week in review. Wish these spot comps had more qualifying spots. I don't disagree either. And I think that was actually something that Dave seemed to concede to in his week in review as well. So maybe like some of these comps get 3 spots, and so the whole podium goes, and then the in-affiliate gets like 5 last chance qualifier spots. Something like that makes sense. Based on the field, I think Carolyn will be higher middle of the pack on Isabel. Yeah, I think there are more gymnastics specialists in this field than there are strength specialists. So yeah, that is definitely a possibility. Shay has her fingers crossed. Wonder if they'll go back to 40 athletes next year. I don't think so. I think there's something that Dave likes about the 30 athletes and the way he can program the games and schedule the games. And I think that's the key to it. It's how much time do heats take at the games to be able to manipulate and move them around to have so many events. Bubba says it's going to be a hot bloodbath this weekend. Yeah, I think Spin posted the forecast. It looks brutal. I know, like yesterday here in Columbus, Ohio, was 87, and it was hot. It was the hottest day we've had this year, and it was brutally hot. So I think it's like upper 90s forecasted for the weekend. Now I know they moved to Sacramento. Are they still outside, or are they going to be inside as well? I wouldn't be surprised if after day one we see withdrawals. T. Kane, Solberg should do well on these workouts too. I agree. I do think there are so many gymnastic specialists. Yeah. Plus you have like, there's something that Rich talks about in the Hiller video about the overall endurance of doing these 7 events over 3 days in 90-degree heat. Like that takes some endurance. And there are 2 people in this field that are amazing endurance athletes. And the amazing endurance athletes are Carissa Stapp and Caitlin Bernardin. Is that her name? I think it's Bernardin. If you remember, Caitlin was the one who opened West Coast Classic last year with the win on the run. So yeah. Meredith says, I thought the entire thing was outside. Not sure. I know in the past it was. And it's someone clock is telling me Discovery Park has no structures. It's a completely open air park. So there's our answer. It's definitely going to be outside. Ken says Minnesota, the last 2 days have been absolutely picture perfect. I don't doubt it. Because if it was that hot in Columbus, you guys were getting that nice, like low 80s, high 70s. Shay says, also nice new thumbnail. Now I want a steak. Well, the funny thing, and I'm glad he's in the chat, that steak is for Ken Walters. Because every time we come on this show, he talks about going to get his ribeye. And so I thought, if I'm going to make a thumbnail about the lunch show, I've got to pay a tribute to Ken Walters and put a nice juicy steak on the thumbnail to come in for lunch with the Clydesdale. And that represents Ken Walters' ribeye that he has to go get after every show. So that's for you, buddy. Is Emily Rawl for sure competing? Do we know? We don't know. Again, I've talked to her a little bit over the last couple weeks, but I have not pressed on anything like that. Jody Lynn, I've been cooking my ribeyes in the air fryer. So good. Yeah. I've always been a grill my steak guy. I've never done it in the air fryer. So that's something I need to tackle in the future and just see how I like it. So my smoker grill is in the garage and I always just kind of roll it out into the driveway and do my thing. And I need a new one of those. I need a new one. And my daughter works for this new company, and she gets an employee discount, and they do sell smokers and grills. So maybe I can get the hookup. I can, dude. I'm actually outside eating my ribeye and avocado and sweet potatoes right now. See? It's all for you, brother. All for you. Air fryer steak is surprisingly good. I love a lot of things in the air fryer. That's got to be one of the best inventions of the last 10 years is the air fryer. Jody Lynn, I just started this a month ago. The air fryer was just sitting there collecting dust. Yeah, so we bought a new oven, oh gosh, maybe 5-6 years ago. And the oven comes with an air fryer mode. So we just had to buy like these special trays to put the food on, and then you set the oven to air fryer, and it just air fries inside the oven like you're baking something. So we don't have one like on the counter. And it's been amazing. Although I think there is a convenience to because we used to have the one on the countertop. There's something convenient about just dumping stuff in it, sliding it in, hitting the button. I don't know. It's weird. So, but yeah. So we have the air fryer in the oven, and that's how we use it anyway. Air fryers make me feel like the food never got hot enough to get cooked all the way through. I'll tell you what, my air fryer, my oven is so freaking hot. Like if you don't keep an eye on it, your stuff is burnt in like 7 minutes. It's insane. Yeah, Father's Day is coming up. Daughter that I moved and financed moving to Montana. You hear that? Father's Day is coming. There's your next top 5 list, best inventions. Yeah. Best inventions of the last 10 years, something like that. Because, man, we've had a lot of inventions over time for sure. Clock. Discovery Park is cool. It sits at the confluence of the Sacramento and American rivers, and just across from Old Town Sacramento, the hub for the Gold Rush and the Pacific Railroad. And there is your history for today. Thank you, Clock. Yeah. Hopefully it's a great event. I like watching the behind the scenes that we got the last couple of years. Hopefully we can get a good live broadcast from the team being out in the park. That's going to have a whole other level of problems to it. I promise to give them more grace this week than I did last week. Knowing they are down some people and knowing they're going to be outside and knowing they have multiple floors to broadcast on. So I'll go into it with the thought process that probably not going to get everything. But we'll see. These are definitely some fun, different workouts. It's going to be interesting to see how either these athletes attack them and take them on, or they get wrapped up and beat up inside these workouts. I'm going to leave you with this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, man. You can also be a member and help support the show. We are sponsorless. So we have no funds coming in to support any of this. All this is just on our own dime, but we love doing it. We love hanging out with you guys, and we'll continue to do so. But if you could, $2.99 a month is the cheapest level to become a member. You can do that by just hitting that join button down below on YouTube. I'm going to leave you with this. Yesterday we did Cooking Up Cajun with Corey. Before the show, Corey and I were talking, and he just got off an Alaskan cruise. And I said I knew everything I knew about Alaska from the movie The Proposal. He said he's never seen The Proposal. How is there anybody in this country who has never seen the movie The Proposal? Is my thought process way off, or is it just crazy he hasn't seen it? Holly says, even I've seen that movie. It just blows my mind that there are people in this country that have not seen a movie like that. Like, it's Sandra Bullock, it's Ryan Reynolds, it's Craig T. Nelson, it's Mary Steenburgen, it's Betty White. Like, oh my gosh. Jody Lynn, I'll watch it tonight because I've never seen it. Jody, what are you talking about? Jeremy, or cancel Corey. Yep. Clock hasn't seen it. Yeah, it's a rom-com. I'm sure that people, but it's on like it's on all the damn time. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It is gorgeous with the views of Alaska. It's definitely worth the watch. Even Mama Schweitzer has seen it several times. There you go. So, all right, guys. Train to Live, great movie. Yeah, I'm not doing a review on the movie. I just was shocked that there was someone who hadn't seen it, but apparently he's not alone. There's a handful of you out there that have not seen it. Well, guys, with that, my lunch hour is over. So, time for you knuckleheads to get back to work. We will see you tomorrow on Lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye, guys.